ninyo yung formula na yun. Then you have to memorize. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Siguro pwede tayo magsimula. Oh, kita ninyo yung screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Punta na tayo dun sa application, ano? Hindi, derive ko muna yung yung a to the 80 para may idea kayo. Di ba ang sabi natin, the Laplace transform of e to the plus or minus 80 is equal to 1 all over s, negative, positive, a. Di ba ganyan yan yung binigay kong table sa inyo? Let's consider positive first. By definition, we define the Laplace transform of a function of t, e to the 80 is equal to the integral from 0 to infinity. Tanggalin ko kaya muna yung una. Teka. The Laplace transform of e to the 80. From the formula, the integral from 0 to infinity, we have the function of t, e to the 80, then function of t, e to the negative st dt. They have the same base, so we can add the exponents. The integral from 0 to infinity, we have e to the what? With a as a constant, no? Anong kalalabasan? Factor out natin yung negative, so ito yung magiging s minus a to dt. Tama ba? Tama ba? They have the same base, so we can combine the exponent. So, a minus s times t. We factor out negative sign, so magiging s minus a. I hope you can follow. Now, the integral of e to the u is e to the u du, provided that u is the exact derivative. In this case, your u is negative s minus a, and the first derivative, negative s minus a dt. But since we lack negative quantity s minus a, we multiply and divide. And the result is negative 1 all over s minus a. Then e to the negative s minus a t. Limit from 0 to infinity. Upper limit minus the lower limit will give us what? Negative 1 all over s minus a. Then you have here e to the negative infinity. Then minus e to the 0. But take note that e to the negative infinity is 0 and e to the 0 is 1. So the result is negative 1 all over s minus a, then 0 minus 1. And if we're going to simplify, it is simply positive 1 all over s minus a. This is the Laplace transform of e to the at. And if we can conclude, no, that if that is e to the positive 80, 1 over s minus a. If that is negative, halimbawa, gawin ko itong positive, negative. De dito, positive, negative. Pagka pinactor out natin, magiging negative, positive, no? Ito yung negative, positive. Then the result will become this one. Okay? Let's try another solution. Second solution. The Laplace transform of e to the at. Hindi ba ito parehas din sa Laplace transform? Ano yung theorem number? Theorem number 2 natin. First shifting theorem.
Yun po ba sir yung Laplace e raised to positive negative 80 po sir?
Yun nga. So from theorem number 2, we have the Laplace transform of plus or minus then a function of t is equal to the Laplace transform of a function of t but you have to replace s by s negative positive a. Okay. Then, if we're going to take the Laplace transform of e, hindi ba ang the Laplace transform of the plus or minus 80, hindi ba ang function of t mo dito 1? Do you agree? Balik tayo dito sa given problem. Ayan. We are interested on the Laplace transform of e to the plus or minus 80. And if we're going to implement, if we're going to apply theorem number 2, the function of t turns out to be 1. I hope you can follow. If we're going to compare, we can conclude that the function of t is equal to 1. So what we have to do is simply take the Laplace transform of 1. And the Laplace transform of 1 is 1 all over s. Di ba? So, balik tayo dito. The Laplace transform of e to the plus or minus 80 is also equal to the Laplace transform of 1, but we have to replace s by s negative positive a. Anong Laplace transform ng 1? It is 1 over s. 1 all over s, but you have to replace s by s negative positive a. So, ang magiging result niyan, magiging 1 all over s negative positive a. That is with the use of theorem number 2. This is theorem number 2. Yung iba, i-derive ninyo, ano? Now, let's have the inverse Laplace transform. In finding the solution of the differential equation, ano, or when it comes to the application of the control system, what you can form is the given function. What you have to do is to take the inverse Laplace transform. Halimbawa ganito. Find the function of t if given the Laplace transform, given the Laplace transform for all over S minus 3. Yan. That's the problem. Find the function of t if the Laplace transform of that function is 4 over S minus 3. Now, the inverse Laplace transform is written as this one. You know? Function of t is 4 all over S minus 3. To find the function of t, kukunin mo yung inverse Laplace transform. And the symbol for the inverse Laplace transform is that one, L to the negative 1. Okay? 4 all over S minus 3. What must be the function such that when you take the transform, the result is 4 all over S minus 3? An idea? How? Or give me the answer. I repeat, the Laplace transform of the function is 4 over S minus 3. And we are interested on the function of t. So what we have to do is to take the inverse Laplace transform. And the symbol for the inverse Laplace transform is L to the negative 1. So ano yung function? Pagka kinuha mo ang transform, ganun ang lalabas. Ganito ha. Are you still there? Andiyan pa kayo?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Apo, sir.
Pwede nating i-factor out yung 4 eh. Pwede nating gawin ganito. 4, the inverse Laplace transform of 1 all over S minus 3. Tingnan ninyo yung table na binigay ko sa inyo last time. Di ba? Meron akong binigay na given the function of t, then the corresponding Laplace transform of the function of t, which is a function of s. Tingnan nga ninyo, ano yung function of t na magkakaroon ng 1 all over s minus a?
Sir, yung e raised to
Negative
80 po.
e to the
Positive 80. E raised to positive 80 po.
tama, di ba? So, in order to have a Laplace transform of 1 all over s minus a, the function of t should be e to the positive 80. So, in this case, if we're going to compare, a turns out to be 3. Di ba? A turns out to be 3. Ayun eh, parehas na ng format eh. The technique here is to reduce the given given value or the given quantity into the standard form. And based on the table, a turns out to be 3. Ibig sabihin, yung function of t natin dito, magiging 4 e to the 3t. Do you follow? Any questions so far? I hope you can follow.
Yes po, sir.
Pagka kinuha mo yung transform ng 4 e to the 3t, ang lalabas, 1 all over s minus 3. Let's have another example. I hope everything is clear. Number 2. No? Given a function of t, given a Laplace transform of a function of t is equal to 6 all over s squared plus 4. No? Then, the function of t, simply take the inverse. Inverse Laplace transform of 6 divided by s squared plus 4. Tingnan nyo ulit ninyo sa table, ano yung mayroong ganitong form? So, we have the function of t, then the Laplace transform of the function of t. Merong
Sin 80 po, sir.
Teka. A, di ba? Meron dyan nakalagay na A divided by S squared plus A squared. And this is sine of 80. Tama, sine of 80. So, ibig sabihin, ito, dapat ma-reduce natin sa standard form. Kaso hindi naman, tingnan natin ha, pwede mo kasing gawin ganito ito eh. 6 divided by S squared plus 2 squared. O de parehas na ng denominator. Di ba? S squared plus A squared. A must turn out to be 2. So, dapat yung numerator natin, 2. S6 ito eh. Hindi 2.
3 times 2 po, sir.
Okay, so ibig sabihin, 3 times 2, pwede natin gawin, iwanan natin dito yung 2, ilalabas ko yung 3. And the result is simply 3, no? Then, sine of 2t. This is now the function. Anong technique? Dapat may reduce natin sa standard form based on the basic Laplace transform. Kaya nga pinamememorize ko sa inyo yun eh. Okay? Ito, tingnan natin yung pangatlo. I hope you can follow. So we have then the function of t is equal to the inverse Laplace transform for s minus 3 divided by s squared minus 9. Sige nga, ano yung equivalent nito dun sa table? Consult the table. The function of t, we have the Laplace transform of the function of t. Meron ba kayo nakita diyang s squared? 9 can be written as 3.
Yes po, sir. Meron po.
So, kung ito ay s squared minus a squared, ano yung numerator? Pagka ang numerator mo ay a, ito ay anong function? Pagka a.
Hyperbolic sign po, 80.
Hyperbolic sine of 80. Ngayon, kung ito ay s divided by s squared minus a squared, the corresponding function is hyperbolic cosine of 80. So, what is the answer? Paano gagawin natin?
Sir, pwede po bang paghiwalayin po yung 4s at saka yung negative 3 po?
Theorem number 1, linearity property. No? Pwede. That is theorem number 1. If we're going to apply theorem number 1, linearity property, this can be break down into the inverse Laplace transform of 4s divided by s squared. I-reduce na natin sa standard form. 9 can be written as 3 squared. Then minus, you have the inverse Laplace transform of 3 divided by s squared minus 3 squared. Then if we're going to compare with the standard Laplace transform, tingnan niyo yung s. Dapat walang coefficient eh. Di ba? Dapat walang coefficient. Anyway, 4 can be factored out. Pwede nating ilabas itong 4 eh. Ito, ilalabas natin dito. Still the same. And this time, it follows the standard form for the hyperbolic cosine of A. But A turns out to be 3. Minus. This is what?
Hyperbolic sign po.
So ito magiging hyperbolic sine of 3t. This is now the function of t. Any question? Theorem number 1, ano? We apply theorem number 1. That is linearity property. Let's set one more. Tingnan natin. Pwedeng ganito, number 4 na tayo. Given a function of t, direct natin, inverse Laplace transform of s plus 3 yan. Sige nga. An idea? Yes. Ano, hindi ko masyadong maintindihan. Ano? Naka-expand na yun eh. So, i-simplify natin, no? Sige. Yung numerator, hindi natin gagalawin. Dahil yung denominator, magiging s squared oo nga eh, hindi lalabas eh. Ganito, will you listen for a while? Ganito. Tingnan natin, balikan natin yung problem number 4. Tingnan ninyo yung denominator. No? Balikan natin yung naunang problem number 2. Tingnan ninyo yung denominator. Problem number 1. Tingnan ninyo yung denominator. Napansin ninyo, dapat yung denominator mag-conform dun sa basic Laplace transform. Yun yung standard. Dapat ma-reduce natin dun eh. Then yung numerator, dun tayo nagkakaroon ng adjustment eh. So, balik tayo dito. Actually, tama yung idea ni na ito, i-simplify natin. Kasi kung titingnan natin yung table, wala naman tayong ganitong form sa denominator eh. No? So, dapat ma-reduce natin into the standard form. What do you think? Tama yung idea niya, i-simplify natin yung denominator. Paano? Any idea? Tama na yun eh. Pero ano yung simplified form? Teka. Christian, an idea?
So, pwede po patingin po ulit nung problem.
Sige. Yan. Yung numerator, wala na tayong magagawa dun eh. Pero yung denominator dapat, mas-simplify natin, magko-conform dun sa standard form, yung table na binigay ko sa inyo. Ano na?
Hindi ko pa po maisip, sir. Pag-isipan ko pa lang.
Sige. Charlie?
Sir, hindi ko pa po din alam po kung paano po masisimplify po yung denominator, sir.
Sige. Princess. At si Princess baka may idea.
Sir, tinitignan ko pa sir kung kaya po pa yung finding the roots po pag sa quadratic equation, sir. Pag perfect square po.
Ganito yung gusto mo sabihin, no? Completing the square. The term is completing the square. Paano yung completing the square? Ganito. So you have here, tingin ko ito yung gusto mo sabihin eh. Take 1/2 the coefficient of s. Ang coefficient ng s mo is 6 eh. Kalahati niyan, 3. Di ba? So, then square of the last term. So you have here 6s, square of the last term, 1/2 of 6 is 3 to the second power 9. Ito, pagka kinompress natin ito, that is equivalent to S plus 3 quantity squared. Tingnan ninyo. Square of the first term twice the product of the two, the square of the last term. Yun yun. No? Kaya lang, ang binigay 25 eh. Hindi naman 9 eh. So to make it 25, magdagdag tayo ng 16. Ulitin ko yung procedure ha, kung bakit nagkaganon. Tingnan natin kung ma-reduce natin into a perfect trinomial square. Perfect trinomial square. When we say perfect trinomial square, the middle term should be one half of the last term. Ganito. So, kunin natin yung middle term, 6s. Kalahati ng 6, 3. Square natin, 9. So, this becomes a perfect trinomial. I repeat, get 1 half the coefficient of s, that is 1 half of 6 is 3. Then square it, 9. You have a perfect trinomial. And that perfect trinomial has a factors of s plus 3 squared. If we're going to check, s plus 3 squared, square of the first term, twice the product of the two, the square of the last term. But take note that the given is 25. What we have is only 9. So to make it 25, 9 plus 16 is 25. Na-preserve natin yung value. Then, pwede na ngayon natin gawin itong ganito. You have here the inverse Laplace transform of s plus 3, then divided by yung denominator natin, pwede nang gawing s plus 3, quantity squared, then 16 can be written as 4 squared. Do you follow? Any questions so far? Kanino ba ako huminto? Kay Princess o Jan. Jan? Jan. Hello, Jan. O, paano nang gagawin ngayon? Babalik ko dun sa... Ayan na. At babalik tayo sa dati. Natin, ha? Sige. Gagawing ano? Kaya nga, ano ang magiging sagot? Sige. Sige, isip ko muna. Balikan kita, ha? Julia, ikaw na kasunod.
Ano
Julia.
po, sir? Hindi ko lang po sure yung final answer po. Pero
Sige.
po, meron po siyang cosine 40 po, sir.
Oo, meron niya. Pero kulang.
Hindi ko po sure kung saan po ilalagay, kung paano po ilalabas si s plus 3, sir.
O, ganito. Sige. Tingnan ninyo yung theorem number... Actually, malapit na yung idea mo eh. Tingnan ninyo yung theorem number 2. First shifting theorem. Kasi ito, pwede natin gawin ganito eh. The inverse Laplace transform, sa halip na s plus 3, gawin ko na lang s.
Sir, pwede po palang try. Parang nakuha ko na po yung sagot,
Sige.
sir.
Sige.
Ano po, sir? Try lang po. E raised to 3t times cosine 40 po, sir. Tama po ba?
E raised to,
3t po.
sige, sulat yung sagot mo. E raised to 3t, then
Cosine 40 po.
40. Tingnan natin ha kung tama si Julia. Sige, sinulat ko naman yung sagot mo para ma-check natin. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Sa halip na s plus 3, gawin ko na lang s. Then divided by s squared plus 4 squared. But take note, yung s ko, actually, your s is actually s S plus 3. Di ba? Yung S, actually S plus 3. O yung S plus 3, ni-replace ko ng S alone. So, tatanggalin ko muna yung itong S plus 3. Balik tayo dito. The inverse Laplace transform of S over S squared plus 4 squared from the table, this will give us what? We have the inverse Laplace transform, i-copy ko ha, divided by, S over S squared, sorry, o yan lang muna. Ano yung lumalabas pagka yan? Based on the table. Hello, based on the table, ano yung lumalabas na transform nito?
Sir,
Cosine
for
po.
Cosine 80 po.
80.
Oo, so ito yung magiging cosine of 40. Kung S lang yon. Kaso, yung S natin dito is actually S plus 3. And from theorem number 2, first shifting theorem, pagka meron kang ganitong assumption, ibig sabihin, meron kang multiplier na e to the 80. But a is negative 3. Any question? Tingnan ninyo yung theorem number 2. The Laplace transform of a to the plus or minus 80 times a function of t is equal to the Laplace transform of the function of t, but you have to replace s by s negative positive a. So, ibig sabihin, yung function of t natin, no, is cosine 40. Dahil meron kang s replaced by s plus 3, you have a multiplier of e to the 80. And your a is negative 3t. This is from theorem number 2, known as first shifting theorem. Question? Julia, tingnan natin yung sagot mo. Dapat negative.
Sir, mali po yung sign nung ng E.
Oo, dapat negative, Kasi opposite dapat yung sign. So, theorem number 2. One more. Nasasanay na kayo. One more. Bibigay ko sanang exam ito kaya lang madali nyo nang mariresearch pagka ganun Halimbawa, ganito. Given a function of t is equal to the inverse Laplace transform of 5s minus 8 ayan 5s minus 8 s squared minus 4s. Meron ba tayong ganyang form doon sa table?
Wala po, sir.
Paano gagawin natin? Dapat ma-reduce natin into that form. Kung gagawin natin completing the square yung denominator, magiging 5s minus 8 all over s squared minus 4s. 1 half of 4 is 2 to the second power plus 4. Then, minus 4 to preserve the value. So, ito yung magiging 5s minus 8 divided by s squared s minus 2 quantity squared then minus what 4 can be written as 2 squared. Tama ba?
Yes po, sir.
No. Ay, meron na ba tayong ganitong format?
Meron po, sir.
Anong kalalabasan? Kung yung numerator sana natin lalabas na s minus 2 Halimbawa, kung makapag-produce tayo ng S minus 2 doon, ano, then, S minus 2, palitan natin yung S minus 2 by S, theorem number 2. Pwede. Similar with problem number 4, no? Kaya lang, makapag-produce ba tayo ng S minus 2 sa numerator? Okay na yung denominator eh. Okay na. Pwede na itong gawing ganito na lang. Ang denominator natin, S squared minus 2 squared. Kaya lang dapat sa numerator, makapag-produce tayo ng S minus 2 para mapalitan na lang natin ang S.
Sir, paano po kung
Sir,
magdagdag
apply,
tayo?
sir, apply po nung theorem 1 po.
Theorem 1, o sige. Kung i-apply natin yung theorem number 1, ito yung magiging 5S divided by S minus 2 squared minus 2 squared minus 8 divided by S minus 2 squared minus 2 squared. Ito okay na. Di ba? Ay, hindi pa rin eh kasi wala kang S minus 2 eh sa numerator eh.
Oo
Sir,
nga
tingin ko
po,
po
sir.
magdadagdag, sir, sa numerator.
Ano dadagdag natin?
Minus 2 plus 2 po.
Minus, kung minus 2 plus 2, day itong 8, gawin na lang natin minus 2 plus 6. Minus 2 minus 6. Di ba? Minus 2 minus 6. Eh, ang problema, yung 5S.
Hindi po, sir. Ang mangyayari po is 5S minus 10. Tapos
S minus
10 po. Tapos plus 2 po.
plus 2.
Tapos pwede na po siya paghiwalayin.
Pwede mong i-factor out yung 5.
Magiging S minus 2 po.
So you have 5, then S minus 2. Then,
Saka po yung theorem 1 na po.
hindi. Ito na yung numerator, no? Ito na yung numerator natin. Tapos, ito yung denominator. Pagka in-apply mo yung theorem number 1, ito yung magiging 5S, then, ito magiging ano na to, no? 5S minus 2, then ito magiging plus 2. Di ba? Wala na tayong problema dito sa first term. Okay na yan. Second term. Yun ang magiging problema naman natin. Na-solve natin yung first term, pwede na yung theorem number 2, first shifting theorem. Ang magiging problema, yung second term. So it create another problem. Di ba? An idea. Tanggalin ko na to. It's another variation. Ano objective? Dapat may reduce natin into a standard form that will fall on the 9 or the 8 basic transform of the function. Ano? Oo. Yung sa denominator mo, magpo-fall under hyperbolic. Ang problema natin, yung numerator, dapat mag-conform. Kasi pagka hyperbolic sign, it should be a divided by s squared minus a squared. Sige. Subukan natin yung sinabi ni yung kanina. Sige, subukan natin. Baka sakali. So, ito yung magiging the inverse Laplace transform. Sabi mo ay dagdagan ko ng 10. Then, bawasan ko ng tama ba? Minus 10. Sige, sige. Sige, mukhang tatama yun na. Then, minus 10 plus 2. Divided by, tingnan natin. Let's try. Then, ito magiging, ano yun? Completing the squared is minus 2 ba yun? Quantity squared. Twice the product, the square of the last term, then, ano yung lumabas dito? Minus 4, ano? Ganyan yung kanina. S minus 2, S squared, twice the product minus 4s, the square of the last term, then minus 4. Then, according to you, pwede nating i-factor out yung 5. Tapos ito yung magiging s minus 2 divided by s minus 2 squared minus 3 squared. Then the other one, we have here 2. The inverse Laplace transform of s minus 2 squared minus 2 squared. So dito wala na tayong problema sa first term. Sa second term, ano ang kalalabasan? Sabi mo hyperbolic sign. Totoo yun, no? Totoo yun. Kung halimbawa, ito ay lumabas na ganito. Kaso yung S mo, may S minus 2 eh.
Sir, what if po, shifting theorem?
First shifting theorem with S minus 2. So,
Yes po.
anong kalalabasan? Ganito ang gawin natin, ano? Ganito ang gawin natin. Let's do it this way. Kung gawin kaya natin itong ganito. (5s minus 8). Your s squared minus 4s, it can be factored out into the form. Pwede nating i-factor out yung s eh. Matitira s minus 4. So, linear factor. The factors are s, then s minus 4. And it fall under case 1 under the partial fraction. Pwede mo itong gawing for every factor, recall your partial fraction. For every linear factor, there correspond a fraction. What do I mean is that it can be rewritten as the inverse Laplace transform. We have two linear factors, then we have two equivalent fractions. The first fraction is a all over s, then the second fraction is b all over s minus 4. I hope you can follow. Pagka nakuha natin yung value ng a, remember that a and b are constant. Upon solving value of a, meron tayong Laplace transform of 1 over s. Upon solving for the value of b, we have the form 1 all over s minus a. No? So, the problem then are the values of a and b. So, ganito, by partial fraction. No? Consider muna natin. Dapat ma-solve yung a and b. So, solve for a and b. And this is possible by considering the fraction 5s minus 8 divided by s times s minus 4. You have this in your algebra. It's equal to a all over s, then plus b all over s minus 4. Getting the least common denominator, we have here a times s minus 4, then plus b times s equal to 5s minus 8. The denominator will cancel. Okay? Denominator will cancel. Now, trial and error or equating coefficient. By trial and error, when s is equal to 0, on the left side, with s equal to 0, negative 8. While on the right side, with s equal to 0, 0 na yung b eh. 0 na yung b. So, ito yung magiging negative 4a. So, kuha yung a to be positive 2. Using the same equation, dapat mag-0 naman yung a, makuha natin yung b. So, if we're going to try when s is equal to 4, on the left side, When s equal to 0, when s equal to 4, on the left side, we have the 5 by 4, then minus 8. On the right side, 0 na agad yung 8. Then while b, it will become 4b. No? So what will be the result? 20 less 8 is 12. 12 over 4, b turns out to be 2. Kuha na yung a sa b. Balik tayo dito. Therefore, the function of t is equal to the inverse Laplace transform of the quantity 5s minus 8 divided by s times s minus 4 can be written as the inverse Laplace transform of a, but we found out a to be 2. So we have 2 all over s. Then plus b, but b turns out to be 3. So we have here plus 3 all over s minus 4. And using theorem number 1, linearity property, it can be rewritten as 2. The inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s, then plus 3, the inverse Laplace transform of 1 all over s minus 4. And from the table, the function of t, wherein the Laplace transform is 1 over s, is equal to 1 multiplied by 2 next term. The function wherein the transform is 1 all over s minus a multiplied by 3, ito ay magiging 3 e to the negative yun and the positive dito. The solution is by partial fraction. Ano yung objective? Tingnan natin yung given problem. You have there, going back to the problem, s squared minus 4s. Wala tayong ganito dun sa standard form eh. However, by inspection, we can factor out s. Doing so, we have s minus 4. Then using partial fraction, we have two linear factors, we have two equivalent fraction. Pwede natin paghiwalayan yung denominator. And if we're going to inspect the denominator, it is on the standard form of 1 over s and 1 over s minus a. So the only problem are the values of a and b. So using this procedure, we were able to determine a and b, and if we're going to substitute, we have this as the final answer. Na-reduce na natin sa standard form, yung numerator saka yung denominator. Siguro yung pinopropose niyong solution kanina, counting modification pa, lalabas siguro itong solution na itong sagot na ito. Any questions so far? Any question? Hello? Andiyan pa kayo? Sige, paki-screenshot na.
Okay na po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, if you don't have any question, you can now leave. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you po,
sir. Thank you
sir.
po.